Hello, Harold.
Hi, Mario.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. Let's see here. Who is here?
Ernie?
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, hi,
Good
Ernie. Hi.
evening.
Where are you today?
I'm back at Yaakov's house in Yerushalayim for Shabbos. Right.
How's the weather?
It's still cold. It drizzled a little bit yesterday. The weather's been okay.
Okay.
I think we're on 70, right, Ian?
Yeah, yes.
If you're going to say Tim Suleiman Amar Law, that we're talking about the case where he said, Mufar Lechi Lemachar. It should be Mufar tomorrow. And normally you don't have the ability to be Mefer after 24 hours. So since, maybe we'll say it's as if he didn't say anything. Or he clearly didn't be made for her. So the question is, what if he did say it beferush? That tomorrow it should be annulled for you. He doesn't have the ability to do it because by letting the netter stay intact for 24 hours, so the netter is not makuyim. Since he didn't say explicitly, your netter is makuyim today, when he says, oh, tomorrow your netter should be annulled, it's as if he's saying it mehayom, as if he's saying it today, from today, and is miskaven to be mefer. And even so, kivan dikimo hayom, by saying that it's in essence he was makayim it today, so therefore the machar command domi. So once a netter stays in place for 24 hours, it's there, and he wouldn't be able to be made for it. Amr law, no. So the question remains a question. The Gemara doesn't answer it. It brings the two sides of the coin. Again, he asks, Amr la kayim lechi sha'amau. Your netter should be mekuyim for an hour. Mi aminan kimanda Amr la mufer lechi lachar sha'adami. Is it as if he implied two things? It's makuyim for an hour and then annulled after the hour. Odil mahalo, he didn't say it b'mefurish that it's annulled. You're just assuming that he means that it's going to be annulled after an hour. And then im tim sulemer halo law, if you're going to take the side to say as if he didn't really enunciate what he was doing, miyu amar lamai. What if he did say it? That it's annulled after an hour. What's the din? And kivan dikimu kimu. Since he made a statement that even in part was Makai in the netter, he can't be made for it. Oy Dilma. Or perhaps kivan dekula yom barakamu barafaru. A netter has to be in place for 24 hours, either through kiyum, or he has 24 hours to decide whether I'm going to be Mekayim or to annul it. And maybe if he says it should be annulled after an hour, it's going to help. So what's the answer? Toshma. Hareini Nazira. The wife says, I want to become a Nazir. V'shama Baila. The husband hears. V'omar va'ani. and says, me too. So, ein yochel lahafer. The din is, he can't annul his wife's neder anymore. More v'amai. Why should that be? Nemo, let us say, va'ani is the amrahu al nafshe dehavi nazir. He's only referring, he's saying, oh, you made a neder to be a nazir, I want to do it too. But he really wasn't responding at all to her neder. He was just taking a neder by himself, for himself. Aval hareini nazira dilah desha achas kaima. But her neder, when she said hareini nazira, that it was around for a period of time, the neder. And it allowed him to take hold of it and say, I want to be like her. Therefore, la'achar shah iboy leifer, to imply that if it's after an hour, he could null it if he wanted to. Amayin yochel ha'afer. Why would we say he has no ability to annul it? Isn't it lav mishum kivin shekimu kimu? Since, in fact, he kept it going for a period of time, he can't annul it. The Gemara says no. Ksavar kol va'ani k'madam kaim leichil olam dami. When you say va'ani, it's as if you said it's also mekuyim for you forever. So we didn't really answer. We didn't really answer any of these last trials. The Rambam says his wife made a neder, and he tries to take hold of it. He can't annul it anymore. When he says ani, it's like considered like a kiyum for her neders. How the Rambam paskins. Mishnah. Mesa'av, that we said, if anara mayrasa, and the father dies, lo nisroknu reshus labal. It's not thrown completely to the husband to get the whole schus to be made for his wife's neder. He can't do it. He needs the father if it's an armor also. On the other hand, meis habal nisroknu reshus lav.
We said this before, right?
Yeah, we quoted this Mishnah previously.
I see. I'm
Quoted
sorry.
this Mishnah as a proof. So here, if the husband dies, nisroikna rishus la'av, the father has a stronger koach. If the husband dies, it reverts back to the father, and he can do it by himself. And in fact, the Mishnah says, "Bazeh yafe koach ha'av mikoach habal." In this way, the father has a stronger koach than the husband. But b'dover acher yafe koach habal mikoach ha'av. In another respect, the husband has a stronger koach than the Baal. That Shabal Mefer Bebeker. A girl is a Nara between 12 and 12 and a half. When she becomes 12 and a half, she's a Boigeres. Now, a husband has a right to be made for the Nedarim, even of a Boigeres. When she's a Nara, he can't do it by himself. But when she's a Bogeres, he can do it by himself. The father loses his right to annul when she becomes 12 and a half. So each has a certain power that the other doesn't. My timer. Why, when the father dies, does it not go revert that the husband has the full koach? The Amar Kra, because the pasuk says, "Binu urea beis avia." It says that she remains in the base av during the period of time that she's in Nara, even if she's engaged. The main reshus is in the father, and therefore, even when the father dies, she's still considered beis avia, and therefore the Baal doesn't have the right to do anything. Then we said Mesa Baal. On the other hand, if the husband dies, the father does have the full right, Minolan. Where's that from? Amar Rabba, the Amar Kra, the Im Hayosiyeli Ish, if she shall have Kiddushin, Undareha Aleha, and she still has, and she's made Nedarim, Mekish Koid Mi Avaya Shniya, the Koid Mi Avaya Rishayna. We compare the Nidor that she made after she had Kiddushin, which is Havaya. And then let's say that guy divorces her or dies. We compare that, and then she marries again. The Nidor that she made after her second Kiddushin is compared to the Nidor that was made prior to her first Kiddushin. Ma koid mi have a rishoina, the Nidor that she made before she was ever given Kiddushin, the Av is made for L'chudei. Well, at that point, the father has complete control. So Av koid mi havaya shniya. So therefore, prior to the second Kiddushin, meaning if a man went and gave her Kiddushin and then died or gave her a divorce, so now she reverts back to the father's rishus, even though she had Kiddushin already. And therefore, Av made for L'chudei. Therefore, the Av has again the right to be annulled in the Nidor by himself. So the Gemara says, maybe that only works, that the father can do it by himself in the Nidor Shalom Nir L'Orus, where the husband, before he died, never heard the Nidorim. So he never had the ability to either Mekayim or to annul it. Well, the Nidorim Shanir L'Orus, but maybe before the Baal died, he had heard Nidorim and didn't do anything, but he had the ability to either Mefer or Mekayim, Lomatzi Mefer. Maybe in that situation, after the death of the husband, the father would not be able to do it. So the Gemara answers, if we're talking about the Nidorim that the husband had never heard, we don't need a new limud from a pasuk. We already have the pasuk binurea beis avia. And as long as she's still in the beis avia, the father can do it. So therefore, it seems correct that the father has the right to be made for the Nidorim by himself, no matter whether the husband had heard the Nidorim before he died or not. Then we said, in this manner, the father had a stronger koch than the Baal. And then we said, the Mishnah said an opposite, that in a certain way, the Baal has a stronger koch than the father, because the husband has the right to do it even after she's a Bogeres. Now, what exactly is the case there? Hechidami. Is that the Kiddushin was given to her when she was between 12 and 12 and a half. And then she made a neder. And then Bagra. And then she became 12 and a half. And then Michti, since. Umisa, the death of the father, Motzia, removes her from his possession. And he doesn't have the right to make any kiyum or afara. So also Bakra's Motzia Mishusa'at. The act of becoming 12 and a half also takes her out of the possession of the father. And we would say, Ma Misa, just like the death of the father, Lo Nisrak Rishus LaBaal, it doesn't revert to the Baal. We said in our Mishnah, Af, Lebagrus Lo Nisrak Rishus LaBaal. So the same thing. When she becomes a Bogeres, it doesn't go completely to the Baal. Ella. So if we're not talking about a case where she was Mekadesh as a 12 and a half, as a 12-year-old, and then she became a Bogeres. Ella, we're talking about a case Shekitshek Shibogeres. The husband gave her kiddushin after she was 12 and a half, and then she made a neder. So the Gemara says, well, we don't need this Mishnah to teach me that halacha. We have another Mishnah. Somebody gave a girl who was 12 and a half kiddushin and didn't marry her yet. 12 months went by. We give 12 months to a man to bring her to the chuppah. We say, he needs time to prepare, but after 12 months, a husband, even though normally a husband doesn't begin to have the responsibility of providing food for her until after they went into the chuppah. Well, if the guy's lazy and doesn't do anything for 12 months, he has a responsibility to provide mazonos for her. Some say at that point, he has the right to annul her nedarim even without the father. So why would we need this Mishnah to teach me the same halacha? So first, hagufa kasha. First of all, that Mishnah about the bogeres with the 12 months seems to be internally contradictory. Amrit, we said, why would we need a bogeres to wait 12 months? The din is, right, the bogeres lamali 12 chodesh, bogeres b'shoshim sagilu. Once you're 12 and a half, we don't wait 12 months, wait 30 days. You only need a month to prepare the needs of the nisuin. So Tani, you have to amend that Mishnah and say that we're referring to Obogeres, which is only 30 days, or a Nara, Sheshoas Shnemasar Chodesh. So, because a Nara gets 12 months, Bogeres only gets 30 days. So we explain the Mishnah, it's not internally contradictory, it's talking about two different cases. Mikomakom Kasha, you still have two Mishnahs trying to teach me the same din. So Iboy Sema Hacha in our Mishnah is Dafka, is the Iker din of a Bogeres that the father loses his right to annul Nador. Ubogeres Tani Hasam over there, by the case we quoted a Bogeres Sheshos Shnemasar Chodesh, we wanted to point out there's a machloikis there. Right, Mishum Deboye Flugid Rav Lezer Rabbanon. There's a machlokas between Rav Lezer Rabbanon regarding some of the details regarding that halacha. That's one way to answer this issue of why do we need two Mishnayos. Iboy said another answer is the bogeres over there is dafka. That's where the ikar halacha that a bogeres, the husband doesn't have the right to do it anymore. The father doesn't have the right to do it anymore. So why is it mentioned here? Sort of stylistic. I did a Nosiv Reisha. Since the beginning of our Mishnah says, in this way, the power of the father was greater. Nosiv say Fanami, we brought the reverse case that in this way, the koach of the Baal was greater, but not that the Ikar halacha regarding the father loses the right when she becomes a Bogeres to annul the Nedarim. It doesn't come from this Mishnah, it comes from the other Mishnah. Okay, we're going to continue.
Hold on.